if you don't know how to use it. This is a saying that Roger Mayweather would say in boxing. A lot of people feel, oh, this boxer gonna kill that boxer because, according to them, the boxer that they're gonna kill don't got no punch. He can't punch. We saw Devin Haney beat Jorge Linares, and apparently Devin Haney can't punch. We know Jorge Linares can punch. So why did Devin Haney walk down Jorge Linares? Why did he win against Jorge Linares? How many times do we need to see this? Andre Ward is not known as a puncher, according to people. According to them, not me, but according to them, Andre Ward can't punch. So why did he beat Sergey Kovalev and stop him the second time around? This is something Floyd has vocalized when he's talking to Gervonta Davis, as he's going to move up in weight, and some guys aren't going to be able to take his power because they're bigger guys. He's saying you cannot rely on your power only. That's something Deontay Wilder always used to stress. Oh, my power, my power, my. Listen, man, that's like a crutch. You can't. That's like your go-to crutch. But and you must use every single tool in the book. Don't get me wrong, but you can't just be using one tool. Thomas the Hitman Hearns. I'm going to talk about a legend in the sport of boxing. Thomas the Hitman Hearns could box, but he also got tremendous power. All right, he had tremendous power. But the thing with Thomas Hearns was, he was like, when I touch you, that's it. What happens when a guy stands up to you and you hitting him with everything, you hit him with all the firepower that you got, but he still keeps coming? Hearns lost to guys who could take his punch. Think about it. He was not able to stop Marvin Hagler from coming at him. He couldn't stop him. And I remember, I even heard Thomas Hearns say it vocally. He verbalized that when Hagler came out with that intensity, he came out with the intensity against Marvin Hagler because that's all he knew. He did not know how to use his defense. He did not know how to use his defense to nullify Hagler's on-surge and his onslaught on him. He did not know how to do it. Okay? When I say defense, I mean footwork. I mean have a sound defensive technique or stance to cause your opponent to miss you because you are in virtual distance. That is to say, you're showing them as if you're in one plane or one angle. When the opponent throws the punch, you simply rotate into another angle, which sets up the opportunity to counter your opponent as they're coming in, launching their attack. He did not have that. He postured as if he had it, but he didn't have it, which is why Hagler knocked his ass out eventually, because his greatest defense was his offense and somewhat of his footwork to keep range. Okay? That's why Thomas Hearns got knocked out by Marvin Hagler. He had to fight back because he had nothing else. All he had was his jab. He had something of a stance, but his major weapon was his jab. That was his major defense. And he had power. He was a skilled boxer in that he could box a bit. I heard some people say the most atrocious things. I heard them say that Thomas Hearns and Floyd Mayweather have the same boxing IQ, and Thomas Hearns could box as well as punch. Listen, man, if y'all don't know shit about boxing, you keep on opening your mouth and saying that ignorant ass shit. Okay? Thomas Hearns is in no way, and I respect the Thomas Hearns, but he's not on Floyd Mayweather's level. He's not. So stop it. I was listening to Floyd talking to Gervonta, and he said power is not enough. You have to rely on your boxing skills. And he talked about feigning an opponent. Now, again, Hearns, I want to talk about Thomas Hearns because everybody always keep on saying how Thomas Hearns would beat Floyd Mayweather. I just don't see it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to keep on emphasizing it till the day I die. I don't see it. He don't got the defense to beat a Floyd Mayweather. You have to have a defense. You have to be elusive. And his defense is his range. That would be, Thomas Hearns would use that long jab. And that ain't enough. It's not enough. Because if I trick you to go down the wrong line, and I have the ability to trick you to go down the wrong line, and I have what is called inbuilt defense because of my stance. I trick you to go down the wrong line, I automatically slip your punch, which means now it's just easy for me to just glide in, slide in, slip and slide in. And I got you. Because guess what? At least at that point in time, Thomas Hearns wasn't known for his inside fighting. He wasn't strong on the inside. In fact, he wasn't strong at all. Now, all of this to set up another point. Because a lot of old school guys don't like when I talk like this. But I don't care. Because I'm an old school guy. And I can talk like this because I've seen all them guys in their time. And I know boxing as a sport evolves. So I'm going to talk to y'all guys and talk about smart boxing. Because a lot of these other guys out there, the OGs, they know these boxers today are boxing smarter. They know it. They know how they approached boxing was dumber. But what they do is they say this to you and to me. We made exciting fights. We brought the fight to the guy. You can bring the fight to a guy, but in an intelligent manner. You can pick and choose when to fight and when to move. When not to engage and when to engage. More chess than checkers. You understand? And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to repeat what I said, and I'm going to maintain what I say, because the boxing community, some of y'all, you got locked up in dogma and stuff. Sugar Ray Robinson couldn't fuck with Floyd. I'm going to say it again. Sugar Ray Robinson couldn't fuck with Floyd. He ain't fucking with Floyd. He ain't fucking with Pacquiao. He ain't fucking with some of these young guns today. He's not fucking with them. All right? And I'll explain to you guys again, because I keep on talking about these fundamentals of boxing. And as much as guys got respect for these guys in the past, which I have ultimate respect for, I see them as laying the foundation for these younger cats. Now, I want to talk about the older fighters today and how they're performing. 38-year-old Nonito Donaire beats the crap out of O'Malley. O'Malley's not, he's not what did I say? He's not a marquee name. But the point is, science. You listen to Nonito Donaire's wife break down what this dude do well and what he don't do well, and how Donaire dissect this dude before he even get in the ring with him. That kind of homework is what you want to see. It's what you want to see. Now, I'm not saying that Nonito Donaire is a worse boxer than, but I understand what they did with Donaire. Donaire knows if he can make the weight for bantamweight, he gonna be the biggest, strongest bantamweight up in there. Nobody can fuck with Donaire because he's strong as fuck, because he's big. He been all the way up to super flyweight. So featherweight, up to featherweight, sorry, my bad. So Donaire has been there. He's a huge, huge bantamweight. That's how Donaire is doing his thing and making history. And it's about the science of boxing. If you can understand the science of boxing, what I mean by that, and this is what I keep on telling you guys, it's all about being very, very calculated, very intentional about what you want to do. Yes, you're dedicating your life to boxing. Donaire don't smoke, he don't drink, he keeps his body fresh, keeps his body clean. Pacquiao, same thing. It's about being very intentional. You know, when you're going into that fight, you have a very good idea of what you want to do, how you want to perform at that top level. And of course, O'Malley, he never been like the amount of top tier experience Donaire's had. Once that body holds up, which his body does hold up, he's preserved his body very well. You ain't fucking with that. That's why I knew Donaire was going to win that fight. You look at Pacquiao. Pacquiao still going, bubbling, doing everything, resting the body properly, coming back out there and doing his thing. Pacquiao is showing us a lot. He's showing us a lot. And he probably, when all said and done with his career, if he fights Errol Spence and beats him, he'd probably be one of the greatest fighters to ever lace up a pair of gloves. Great, I mean, tremendously great fighter, okay? Because the accomplishments he's got is just ridiculous, okay? And whoever says, oh, he's not that great, guess what? You're a hater. Because when you factor in all the factors with Pacquiao's career, you got to give him, one of the greatest fighters, if not the greatest fighter that ever lived. But understand this: Floyd Mayweather beat him, and a lot of you guys don't like to hear that. Oh, Floyd didn't beat him, but listen, he beat him. And what does that say about Floyd Mayweather? When it comes to approach to boxing, this man right now, he's giving Gervonta Davis tips all the time, because Gervonta Davis need to understand power is cool and everything. The fact that you God gifted and you have heavy hands and you got nice speed and power and pop, that's great. But you got to use it in the smartest possible way you can. You got to be smart. It's not about being strong and powerful, it's about being smart. And obviously the power gonna kick in, and when you land a certain shot, you're gonna get a guy out of there because you've been boxing properly. All right? Boxing's about angles. Boxing's about timing. It's like dancing. Boxing's about angles and timing. It's not about speed. It's not about power. That's bullshit. If a man, he knows how to use the right angles and he knows how to time the guy to get into position at a certain timing, into range at a certain timing, he gonna win every single fight. It doesn't have nothing to do if you in a real fight with a guy. You smaller than him. You probably punch less than him. You in a real fight. What makes the difference? Okay, he could be strong as fuck. He could be strong as fuck. He could take a punch. He could keep coming. But if you the one handing out the ass whooping, he's not touching you. You handing him the ass whooping. That is going to, accumulation of punishment going to put him down eventually. So it's not about power. And it sure as hell ain't about speed. A guy could be powerful and fast. Crazy fast. But if you can't connect with nothing because you making sure you at the right distance and you being elusive because of your timing, your movement, your timing, how you move your body in space, he can't connect with you. He can't find you because he got to find you first before he can put that speed on you. You saw Jorge Linares, very fast hands. Very fast hands. He hit Devin Haney with a 1-2-3. Haney's not as fast as Linares when he put the combinations together. But he can't put the combinations together because he can't find Devin Haney. Can't find him in space. Can't find him to follow up. Because Haney defensively responsible. Whether he's on the outside or whether he's deep in the pocket, he's very defensively responsible. You're not going to get that opportunity every single time with Devin Haney. So if you got pop and you can box really well, that's good. Now, let me talk to you guys straight up again. Because everybody want to put certain fighters on a pedestal, and I don't think they deserve it right now, like that. Sugar Ray Robinson broke, Sugar Ray Robinson has created history and all of that, great fighter and all of that, but he was fundamentally sound. All right, fundamentally sound, did the things of his time, did the things of his day. All right, but to be honest with you, that's it. Him and Kid Gavilan, fundamentally sound fighters, well schooled. But that's it. That's all you need to beat most fighters. But I'm talking about special. Catching you with certain angles. Not just using the jab. You have other weapons. And defensive and offensive weapons. Charlie Burley. I believe is a greater fighter than Sugar Ray Robinson and Kid Gavilan, Charlie Burley. That's a guy I respect a lot. A lot. Because he break in what we call special effects. It's not just about using the jab. It ain't just about trapping and catching and blocking shots. No. There's a higher level of boxing where you disarm your opponent. Your opponent may be coming to you, Oakland Billy Smith, coming to him, using the jab, staying behind his jab and coming in. He was able to disable Oakland Billy Smith's jab through encouraging him to throw it and punishing him for it, through countering the jab, through turning Oakland Billy Smith at certain angles, and running him into punches. Then he bait him with his own jab. Then he break beat him, catch him on the off beat, darting in and out, dance in and out. It's like a fucking video game. Different levels, different things he's throwing at him. Then he'd make him push him against the ropes, let him throw a whole bunch of combinations and just block all the shots and rock back and hit him with something. That kind of boxing is draining on a dude who got pop and who got power. Because you're carrying him all over the ring, making him use different aspects of the ring, and he gets almost nothing out of it. He can't even land a really good punch, a solid punch, a clean punch. I see Floyd giving Sugar Ray Robinson all kinds of problems. Sugar Ray landed all kinds of problems. Them guys that you guys say have a good jab, they have a good jab. But I'm gonna try to make it. I'm trying to make it more so you can understand. They have good jabs, no doubt about that. But when you can slip the jab, when you can come off an angle and throw your own jab off the slip of the jab, counter off the jab. Counter punchers love people to throw punches at them because they can counter them. When you can do all those little funny little things off the jab to a guy who likes to jab, he's fundamentally strong with the jab. He fundamentally uses one kind of jab. You have the jab become too predictable, you're going to have a field day with that motherfucker. Especially somebody who feel if it comes to nothing, I'm going to use my power and my speed. I'm going to just brawl. Motherfucker, you going to get checkmate so fast. You think you could just brawl with a guy? That's the last option. You have to stay disciplined. So, power don't mean shit if you don't know how to use it, said Roger Mayweather. It don't mean shit. Shit. I say shit. I don't want to use the. Power don't mean shit if you don't know how to use it. And speed don't mean shit if you don't know how to time it. It's about timing your opponent. It's about finding the opponent's rhythm. You get that, you solve the puzzle. So that's all I gotta say for now. I'm gonna catch you guys later. I am what you need. You watching my channel. I appreciate all the people who view my channel, view my videos. I ain't to be all and end all boxing. Absolutely not. But I'm just talking boxing with you guys. This is the crux of boxing. And a lot of times people talk about, oh, well, boxing is this stuff. Listen, man, shut up, man. Listen, boxing is about these things I just said. I was listening to Jorge Linares talking to Devin Haney at the end of the fight. He's talking about you should double up your jab a little bit more. And Devin was like, well, I don't want you to time me. And it's interesting listening to both guys technically talk to each other about the technical details of what they could or could not do and how they deal with each thing. Jorge Linares said Devin Haney didn't hurt him with any punch. Doesn't mean that he can't punch. Again, a lot of people just don't understand. Jorge Linares is not saying that Devin Haney can't punch. He's saying he didn't hurt him with anything. He didn't feel anything. He did get hit. He did get bullied up in the corner. Devin Haney started plowing that body, and Jorge would clinch to him. The clinch just means, hey, I don't want more of that. But more or less, Jorge Linares looked solid throughout the fight. He did get his eyes red and stuff. Devin Haney did bust up his eye. But Devin Haney and a guy still, to this day, he still don't know how to exactly put a guy down. He still be using brute force, brute strength, kind of like Sugar Ray Leonard styling. And I think he need to just work on his timing a little bit more and his technique, so he's not as predictable throwing his shots because he repeats himself with certain combinations, and he need to learn how to set it up a little bit better. So the guy not expecting the shot, and when that shot come, he really clipped the guy. So Devin still got a ways to go, I think, technically speaking. Shakur Stevens, same thing. They sharp with the shots, but you got to understand, it's not about to knock out a guy. It's not so much about throwing the shot. If the guy can brace for the shot, then he probably not going to get knocked down. You don't got that mind-altering power. You have to set up the knockout. You have to set up that shot to knock the guy down. You got to be setting them up with shots to the body, shots to the body, shots to the body, come with an uppercut or something to the head. And again, they're sharp, they're chopping, they're popping. You got the necessary ingredients, but the guy be able to see the shot or he braced for the shot a lot better. So I think Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, I can see they're both very strong guys. I think the problem with it is that the timing to get the knockout. Knockouts are a tricky thing. And when a guy can't brace for a shot, that's when you really catch him. Unless you break an orbital or something. I know Devin Haney broke a guy's eye socket. So Devin Haney does have plenty pop. It's not his pop. That's the problem. And I think a lot of boxers have problems with this. To get knockouts, you have to have a certain timing behind your shot. You have to have a certain timing. And that's what gets knockouts. Especially if you're not really a guy with mind-altering power. You don't have bone-crushing power or the speed and quickness with which you throw a shot. Doesn't necessarily... But Devin Haney beats the hell out of guys. He'll beat you up really bad. Shakur Stevenson, same thing. They nasty. Floyd, same thing. Nasty guys. They beat you up real bad, and you're going to end up getting a TKO or stop a guy because you're just beating the shit out of them. And they get tired. But to say that, and Muhammad Ali was something like that too. Muhammad Ali beat the tarp out of you. But again, what got Ali his knockouts was the fact that he would throw punches that a guy just didn't brace for. He'd throw really a quick set of flurry of punches and catch you with a big one. Boom, right? And Ali wasn't, again, as a heavyweight, he wasn't really a one punch hit or quitter either. So with certain things and certain angles and certain techniques, you have to work on your leverage power. But even so, it's not so much about physically. And this is another thing with Canelo, same thing. Canelo, he gets some knockouts, but you don't force the knockout. You don't try to put everything into it. Sometimes just letting it flow and just letting it glide through. It gets the right time and it gets the right delay. It gets the right, just to place on the right sweet spot. So you actually get the guy knocked out instead of trying to break bones and all that shit. Now, that's cool and everything, but you don't want to really... You want to be able to get the right timing. It's just timing and the placement that really makes a knockout. So some guys who fall like flies, because the other guy, he's not really putting all that. He's not putting all that. He's not trying to tighten up his muscles. The more relaxed your muscles are, the faster they travel. And just hitting a guy a fraction of a second before he thought he was going to get hit, or hitting him in a delay or a looping shot that he didn't see, is just the perfect thing. That's what gets guys out of there, But anyway. Some people got just great bone density, or they just got that lever action to just really get a guy knocked out. But not everybody got it. Apparently, Derek James knows how to teach people how to do that. So at some point, Devin Haney needs to go to Devin James' camp to get his power translated into knockouts. Because Devin Haney got plenty power. That goes without saying. But his technique and some of his action, as well as just the timing. I think the timing is the main thing. And you don't always punch. You don't always punch through the target. I noticed that also about Devin Haney. You don't always punch through the target. Sometimes you need to just punch all the way through the target. He snap on the target. Pow! So that's basically what I got. You guys have a good one again. I'm out of here this time. What you need in the building. He's out. Peace.